China is now simply too large for the rest of the world to absorb this enormous capacity. Actions taken by the PRC today can shift world prices. And when the global market is flooded by artificially cheap Chinese products, the viability of American and other foreign firms is put into question.
Elon Musk, not perfect, made some mistakes, right? He has been a little bit soft on China. That's been one of the criticisms. And this is sort of a lesson in the futility of appeasing crocodiles. So China right now is threatening to destroy the American auto industry with cheap, and I don't want to say cheap, subsidized electric vehicles. This is the important point. Sometimes you can't get what you need in the United States because it's simply not manufactured here. And sometimes Chinese goods can actually be higher quality than their American counterparts if you're talking about union made here in the USA. Made in America doesn't necessarily mean quality. That's not the issue we're talking about. The issue we are discussing is the Chinese government subsidizing products to deliberately overproduce them and flood foreign markets. They are doing this to basically price private competitors, let's say in free countries, out of the market through their subsidizing of these specific products, goods, or services, so that then they can have a stranglehold on it. That is about government corruption. That requires trade laws. That requires being tough on China. The other, if they create a better product at a better price, assuming they're not using slave labor, which they do, wouldn't be an issue. So I want to clarify that, and comment below if you understand and differentiate between those two, because sometimes people say, be American, buy American. Yeah, but sometimes it's crap. That's not the issue. The issue is corrupt government, both in the United States with the unions and, of course, the Communist Chinese government. So Tesla is a perfect example here of where this can go wrong. During a recent trip to China, actually, it's so bad that Janet Yellen even said this is completely threatening global markets.
China is now simply too large for the rest of the world to absorb this enormous capacity. Actions taken by the PRC today can shift world prices. And when the global market is flooded by artificially cheap Chinese products, the viability of American and other foreign firms is put into question.
So,
the soul sucker.
Just to be clear, what she just described, hey, that's Obamacare, right? It's, oh, let's provide an Obamacare option that, well, hold on a second. You're going to make it cheaper? Yeah, how? Through taxpayer dollars. Oh, that's right. Provide a public option, which makes being a private insurance company completely unviable. Why? Because they can price them out. They can undercut them for a certain amount of time, right, by providing a public option. Your taxpayer dollars, they're not beholden to market forces. They don't have to have an honest profit margin. So what happens is, let's provide a public option, basically flooding the market, and then private insurers will go out of business, and now you only have one choice. It's not a public option. It's the only option. That's a healthcare example. Right here, what we're talking about is the term you'll hear me use is overcapacity. And that's when something is produced in quantities that far exceed what is needed in the market. And with China, that happens because of government subsidies.
Like dollars over here and there?
Yeah, that's another, which I still understand. If you can print more dollars, why tax me any?
That's right.
Just go to your money machine and print more.
Exactly.
I get that it's quite a bit more complicated than that, but I'll act like it's not.
Me too.
In China, these are the industries that are included. You have solar panels, batteries, chipsets, and electric vehicles. These are all overcapacity, subsidized to some degree by the CCP. And of course, I almost forgot, viruses. Life finds a way, flat top.
China is asshole.
So this is what we have. We have China subsidizes these industries. The industry becomes oversaturated or at overcapacity. Then they export those goods abroad at super, super cheap prices, so it drives other companies who have to actually operate an honest business, drives them out of business. They can't compete. And we've actually obtained a leaked video from the CCP's propaganda arm on just this topic.
Elon's cars are not amazing as ours. We will give you best price. The whole world's gonna get Jinping's cars. Elon's cars are not even half nice. Our best China car is, but it's half made of rice. Jinping's cars.
They're effective with the propaganda. It's catchy.
I love the cars. I'm biased, but Boston man.
I love that guy at the end, the Yi Long Ma, the Chinese.
I know,
Chinese
that had me
guy is
fooled.
So funny.
Iran. Iran.
Stop it.
Iran.
I never said that.
Never.
So, the biggest concern here in the United States
And bras.
today is we burn our bras. Everything old is new again. It's like the 60s.
Ugly woman in bras.
You can't tell difference. Now,
I don't care that Asian accent making fun of it. I'll do that till I'm 100. That's just fucking.
it's always funny.
It's just beautiful.
It's always funny. You know how I know it's funny? The Asians laugh if you make fun of the other Asian accent. The Chinese laugh at the Japanese accent. The Japanese laugh at the
That's
Chinese
exactly
accent.
right.
Yeah. And they all laugh at the, the Siam accent. Some people call it Thailand. I still call it Siam.
And if you do it to their face, they go, "That's long." You go, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll smack the broccoli and chicken right out of your head.
I mean, everyone.
They're storing it in their head? No, save for later. No need for snapware. Save broccoli chicken in hair.
That's a number 14.
Yes. It's nature's double wall insulation.
Chihuahua and chestnut.
Yes. We had a restaurant in the South Shore, Montreal. It was Greenfield Park.
Oh, you in the
It
family?
was shut down for health code violations like 5 or 6 times, and it kept reopening. And they would just change one letter.
See, I'd go to that. Those are the good ones.
All the time. They were caught, no joke, they were caught catching seagulls on the roof and selling it as chicken.
Not a joke. Oh, now wait a minute. I would love to try seagull. I've had it once at a McDonald's in a parking lot. I shot one. A little chewy for my taste. They were really? Is that a true story?
Yes, they were caught because these were first generation immigrants, and they go, "Why you pay for food at supermarket? Free food, flying sky,
Oh my goodness. That explains the whole dog thing.
everywhere, free food."
Free dogs.
Yeah, you're like, "Hey, do I have to go to a farm? Is this organic?" No. Your food running down alley.
You better run, catch it.
Yeah, exactly. That's half their recipes involve catching.
I know. You look at the menu. I ordered. Now it says rescue.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about the Chinese guy in Tacoma?
Dish is a rescue dish.
Wait, what?
The Chinese guy in Tacoma that was selling alligator meat.
Oh, wait. I think what
Wait,
was
that's
it?
delicious. I've had that.
Yeah. But it was at this like food festival, Taste of Tacoma. He was selling alligator meat from a truck.
Yeah.
And
That's a good.
he got in trouble a couple years later because they found out he was selling chicken. Selling alligator.
Completely domesticated.
I don't know if he's Chinese. I'm being racist. But I have to assume.
That's how he sells it.
Say that again. He was selling.
He told them it was
selling
alligator meat. It was
alligator-
just chicken.
That's brilliant.
No, chicken out of the swamp.
It was like the big hit. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're going to Taste of Tacoma? You gotta try the alligator."
Alligator meat.
It's so good. Yeah,
And he's
'cause
covering
it's
his bases legally. He's like, no, tastes like chicken.
I don't trust food trucks.
You know those Pacific Northwest alligators?
Yes.
I don't want to eat at a place that can outrun the health inspector. And
No.
start the car.
I think it was a white guy, but still funny.
I broke my pen.
Getting clams out of the back of a Ford F-150. I don't trust them.
They do sell them like that in like Oregon.
They're
and stuff.
growing muscles.
Yeah.
in the
Chuck
truck.
'em
I
right
like
there
the
in the
idea of a food truck, and I don't.
Why is it that all of the invasive species come from China? The zebra mussels, the carp. Like, do they have any good fish?
Wait a minute. Zebra mussels?
Zebra mussels.
What the hell's that?
What's
now?
like Josh's
a
back?
biracial mussel? No, what?
No, mussel is Morado. It's Morado mussel.
Marado.
No, they're zebra
What's a
mussels.
zebra
They
mussel?
but the problem is they act like barnacles, and they'll accumulate around pipes, and they'll close up pipes like pipeways.
Okay, but do they taste good?
No, they're poisonous. They'll kill you.
Of course.
Yes,
they
it's
cling
another-
to oil pipes.
It's the
and shit.
Chinese
It tastes
bioweapon.
amazing though.
That's
Oh, they'll kill you?
yeah. Look, it does that, but it does it
my.
around your pipes.
Well, it reminds me of a stripper I knew.
That's how they started them.
What was his name?
It's like with wine. You always need a starter yeast.
Oh, that was a good weekend. in
Oh,
St.
grow
Louis.
up! Grow up! Everybody grow up! You're all adults.
You glow up.
All right. So back to the topic.
God, did we have fun with the Chinese, even though they're fucking us? We're laughing our asses off. We'll be speaking Mandarin in 2 weeks.
It's not even a surprise. We can't even say we didn't see it coming.
I know.
That's the thing.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like they've been greasing us up for
I can't
20
believe
years.
you let me sneak up on you for 40 years.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
How your eyes so round? See nothing.
Sneaking. So one of the big concerns right now is cheap Chinese electric vehicles. The government is subsidizing that market. Why? To try and price out a market that has largely been dominated by one of the most American manufacturers of cars in modern history, Tesla. Josh found this one out firsthand.
Hey, Josh. What's
Hey,
going
man.
on?
I'm just looking for my Cybertruck. My email said it was delivered today, but I don't see it anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I signed for it. It's out back.
Oh, nice. How does it look?
Chinese.
Cool. Thanks, man. Come on, man. Was like Rick Moranis around or something?
So all of this brings us to Tesla in real life. You know what? To break this down, let's do a then and now. Okay, let's go back to then. Elon Musk opened up a gigafactory in Shanghai, and he said, and I think this was a big mistake, that Tesla would increase their investment in China.
My frank observation is that China spends a lot of resources and efforts applying the latest digital technologies in different industries, including the automobile industry, making China a global leader in digitalization. Tesla will continue to expand investment and R&D efforts in China. Tesla hopes to contribute to build a digitized future of shared benefits, responsibilities, and governance.
Let's see how that worked out, because now Tesla has had to reduce their output and they've had to cut hours at the Shanghai factory. Why? Due to dramatically slumping sales. So there's a reason for that. Let's go back to then. There you go. Thank you. At one point, it doesn't work without the stinger. At one point, Tesla obviously was dominating the global market for electric vehicles, right? Their stock was at an all-time high. The top China officials, they were praising Tesla's presence in China. They were saying, hey, great, we want to be a part of this. But now Tesla is losing market share in China, and the stock price is tanking. So to give you an idea, Tesla's share of the Chinese market was 10.5%. Now it's gone down to 6.7% since 2022. Their stock price is down 30% this year alone. Now you would say, okay, maybe that's because people don't want it. No. This is about government manipulation. And keep in mind that we are internationally competing. China has banned Teslas in places like government areas and then cultural areas, which seems kind of broad. I don't know what that includes.
What's a cultural area?
Yeah.
Arc or like a...
I don't know. It's more urban. Urban area.
Okay.
Arsenio.
urban.
Oh. I wonder if there's a Chinese Arsenio.
Things that make you go,
What if there's an Asian
Chinese
Arsenio
Hall.
with the house party hairdo? Oh, move my fist around. That means you're good. You're cool. All right.
yeah, I've been on 3 times in 6 months.
Did he?
Yeah.
That must have been fun.
It was fun, man. I thought I was going to be a star. I told my girlfriend to get lost and shit. I moved from Boston out to L.A. New York out to L.A. Cut to me 6 months later. I'm crying in the basement of a Venice apartment. Don't know anybody. Shooting heroin
Would have
between
seen
my toes.
Arsenio
We've all
not
been in the
lasting.
basement in Venice, you know.
Yeah.
That basement apartment in Venice.
Yeah, it's called the Ocean.
I know. It's right. I could see people's feet walking to the beach.
I can imagine.
My window was like halfway.
All right.
Back to the
Chinese are
the
fun.
dog eaters. Show.
So they've banned them in cultural areas, government areas. Let's go back to then. At a certain point in time, Chinese electric vehicles, right, they couldn't compete at all on a global level. Well, now, Chinese automaker, the one we've discussed, BYD, they've actually passed Tesla as the world's top electric vehicle maker, really globally. And of course, here's why this matters. If it was just, all right, a better mousetrap, Fine. That's not the case. And this is why the next election matters, because we've been told that China is going to be the next great economic superpower for many, many years. There's only been one president who's done anything about it in our lifetime. Can you guess? Comment below. Pause it. Don't cheat. Take a guess as to who that was. All of this was facilitated not by creating better products, not by innovating, but by massive subsidies from the Chinese Communist government.
We've arguably never seen anything like this in terms of, the amount of support
your
that
haircut.
China has extended to automakers, specifically pertaining to EVs.
Beijing has given an estimated $30 billion of tax exemptions to the industry since 2010 and may waive a further $97 billion by 2027.
China actually takes a carrot and stick approach. They set mandatory EV output targets for automakers, but they also offer cheaper loans and cheaper land and R&D subsidies to all those EV makers.
And here's the thing: there's no way to compete against that. This is an international version of, you've heard me talk, too big to fail. This is a policy. You've had it with banks. You've had it with automakers. You've had it with airlines, for example. Notice these are industries where you really haven't had many new players. You really haven't. Why? Well, if you say, hold on, Bank of America, Chase, these banks are too big to fail. Well, they end up gambling with your money, the taxpayer dollars. Now, if you're a local credit union, you're a state bank who does not receive federal bailouts, how do you compete? You're competing with a never-ending supply of federal funding, and that's how you create super banks. That's how you create super airlines. That's how you create, for example, GM, Ford. For the longest time, it was just really 3 auto manufacturers. The only thing that changed that was Tesla, because it sort of got backdoored in with the green subsidies or green tax breaks one point in time, but it still wasn't even as much as the subsidies that were actually being calculated if you use the bailouts for the American Big Three. So at a certain point in time, without government intervention, you cannot create that product. You cannot bring it to market. Apply that internationally, no private American company can compete. So what might happen in this scenario? Unless we have some kind of trade tariffs, barriers established, what could happen is China continues to do this, American companies can't compete, and so, good news, the federal government steps in and says, we'll subsidize our own industries, and you're now one step closer to it being nationalized. China has a vested interest in this going on, and socialists across the globe have a vested interest in this going on. This would be the best way, as a Trojan horse, to backdoor in the nationalization of a lot of intensely important private companies. It's an arms race. And even Elon Musk now has caught on to it. He said, frankly, I think if there are not trade barriers established, they will pretty much demolish most other companies in the world. And they're not just destroying Tesla. This is something that is actually kind of, it's scary, but it's funny. The latest Chinese electric vehicle, it's a company called Xiaomi. Xiaomi. I thought they did like projectors and TVs.
Show me the money.
Their SU7 is a direct knockoff of the Porsche Taycan or Taycan, however you put it. Look at it. Look at it.
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. No.
That's like me and Brad Pitt. That's crazy.
Ours is gray. Ours is gray. Yeah, but can you also get it in white? Maybe. Oh, so it's a ripoff. No. It's a copy is best form of flattery. So you copied. You caught me. We don't care.
We give it to you in off-white. We call it bone white. We
yes.
crush the bone, make paint.
You call yours off-white. We call ours cream. Eggshell cream. What? And here's the issue, too. I've known people who they would go to trade shows, and they would actually have to have someone assigned to protect their intellectual property. They would have to stop people coming in from China to take pictures of their products and then try and basically reverse engineer it. This would happen all the time. What they would do is say, it could just be, for example, a chair. They could go, this is popular. Okay, let's recreate it. Let's be subsidized, or somehow the government will allow us through tax breaks. Let's drive them out of the market because they can't compete with our cheap knockoff, subsidized by the government. And then we can gradually raise the prices once they're out of the competitive field. It happens all the time. Comment below if you've had to deal with this in a line of work where you have to protect your IP, and this happens a lot at trade shows.
I just find it ironic. They're the kids we cheat off for the last 40 years in school.
Right.
And they're doing it on a global level and putting us out of business. Isn't it?
That's
when they talk about stealing intellectual property, I go, well, we kind of steal theirs when we were kids, sitting next to them on a biology test.
Yeah. This for 8th grade math exam.
Yeah, this is payback.
Enjoy poverty.
You like cheat? I teach you cheat.
Yes. Teacher, you starve your whole family. Oh, hope you enjoy your Scantron test.
This happened so fast.
It happened really quickly.
Like, I remember the bloodbath comment from Trump, and he's saying that the Chinese vehicle manufacturer. I'm like, what? I mean, I said on the show, like, what Chinese manufacturer? I don't even know what he's talking about. Like,
yeah.
And then, like, oh, yeah, here's the research, the Xiaomi, the monies, and BYD, the bring your own dogs.
I know. I had that one.
I've
God
never...
damn it. I was waiting for a break to get that one in. Son of a bitch.
Sorry.
Bring your own
I took your whole Italian look and everything.
That one's creepier.
I'm creepy.
But this is where we are right now, and this could affect it can affect not only American manufacturing, it can affect any industry. Any industry they decide to target can be affected.
Let's teach the rest of the world how to use tariffs.
That's a good point. So
How's
here's
that
the
for a
thing.
good point
I used to be a libertarian, and I say, hey, look, let the best product win.
Yeah.
Until you realize how they're treating our products and how they deliver.
Right.
This is not honest competition.
Right.
I mean, this happened too, actually, with motorcycles. It was Reagan, I believe. I believe Harley was at the AMF days, right? And they couldn't compete. And so Japan was bringing in motorcycles like Honda, Kawasaki. They were far, far better than what Americans were used to. And so they put tariffs on a lot of these Japanese motorcycles, which hurt Americans because they wanted better bikes that would actually last. Problem is, you have to take into account that in Japan, they were doing the same thing first to American automobiles and motorcycles. So you can't be saying, well, hold on a second, I guess we'll bring yours in because we actually believe in fair trade if the other nation doesn't. That's the problem with libertarianism, and that's why I'm no longer a libertarian. That's why I am a conservative with a very strong leaning towards nationalism, because today, in 2024, if you are not a nationalist, you are siding with, if you want to use the term globalist, internationalists. Something has to be done to protect the United States from China encroaching. Why? They don't share our values. They don't share our values. Unless you want the United States to become like China, to become like Europe, to become like these nations, then you need to protect your you need to protect your nations with borders. You need to protect your nations with policies. And throughout all of my entire lifetime, I remember everyone saying it's going to be the next great super. Oh, watch out, China! Watch out, China! And everyone just assumed that it was a foregone conclusion. There was one politician that I can remember ever in my lifetime warning us about all of this and was labeled racist.
Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay?
Kung flu.
The biggest problem we have, like with China, is that they're sucking money out of this country. Then the horrible part is they then loan it back to us. They think we are the dumbest son of a bitches in the world.
The country is doing terribly. We're being ripped off by everybody, every country, including China. We can't continue to allow China to rape our country.
Because it comes from China. Racist. It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
That was the exact context of bloodbath.
Yep.
An economic bloodbath. If China does exactly what they are doing right now and getting away with. And everyone just said, oh, think about every single when he was running for president, it was racist. When he was president, when we were talking about COVID, it was racist. Bloodbath, incitement to violence. At a certain point, you do have to ask yourself, how does the media, and of course they're lackeys in the DNC, how do they always line up with communist opposition? Even accidentally.
It's not an accident. It's not even a question anymore.
No.
I said this when I was here months ago, saying let's quit calling them the Democrat Party. Think of a different name.
They're communists.
They are. I mean, they're
communist sympathizers.
At a certain point, you got to, right?
Seriously, we still treat them like they're a legitimate political party over here.
Yeah, like it's a little bit of a difference in corporate tax rates by 2 or 3%, like it used to be. No, you're helping prop up not economy. There is the government of a nation that actively seeks to do us harm and enslaves their own people.
Right, and that's where we're headed here. They're a criminal enterprise. Yep. I'll come up with a name tonight.
Yes.
I don't know if we use it on YouTube.
We'll think about what it is. I'm sure Donald Trump has a good name for it. China. What did he say? He said it was. He said. What did he just say in that montage?
Kung flu.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kung flu.
Kung flu.
It's not racist.
He said Kung flu. That would have been racist.
They call it the Wuhan virus at one point.
Yeah.
And remember, everyone said conspiracies. Donald Trump trying to say that this was bioengineered. I don't know if you remember this. If you're a little bit younger, we were initially told that COVID came from a bat.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, some guy ate a bat and then
Yeah.
and then he gave everybody the flu.
Yeah.
And they actually made him a patsy where they tell him, like, oh, he eat bat. We have to quarantine him forever. Problem solved.
Where
Like, I
is
don't
he?
know. Is it from the Wuhan Institute of COVID? No, it's not the name. I'm exaggerating to make a point. But it was pretty much underneath the header. It was the subheader. Yeah. It was Wuhan Institute of
COVID virus.
Of COVID, yeah. Of virology. Wuhan Institute of Virology. And underneath it, we make COVID.
And it said over 1 billion served.
Yes, yes, yes. They had to change the number.
7 billion. How many people on the planet? 10 billion?
COVID-19 original location.
Yes, COVID, our original location, like Ray
Flagship.
Kroc.
It's a flagship
10 billion
store.
served.
Ray Kroc. Original McDonald was actually milkshake machine, not burger. Ray Kroc.
They said it was bat soup. It's terrible. You ever have bat soup? You always deep fry that shit.
Yes, exactly. And you, by the way, I'm not a big fan. It leaves you bloated.
It bloated. It is very stringy. And you always find those little 2 fangs at the bottom of the mouth.
No. It's
And
just-
also chickens exist.
yes, exactly.
Exactly right.
So you mean alligator?
Yes, sorry, I got it wrong.
That's one of my favorite stories. Oh my God.
I don't think he's Chinese. I did exaggerate. I don't think he's Chinese, but
Oh,
When you tell it he's Chinese.
it is real. Yeah, I'll tell.
But it's great because that's everybody. It tastes like chicken. Tastes like.
I'm telling you, this is the best gator I have. I don't want to try alligator. No, don't. Trust me. It tastes like chicken. You're going to love it.
You could do that if you owned a restaurant.
Yeah.
You jack it up to $20 because it's alligator meat or something.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
exotic.
imported to.
And meanwhile,
to-
Frank Bedou's suing you.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.